Welcome back to the Elise Circle podcast. We are going to be talking about the number one thing that you're likely doing that makes you fail repeatedly when you are working on your physique or any goal, especially in perimenopause and menopause. And that is that you likely are repeatedly stopping. And so today I want to talk a little bit about how to stop stopping. Because I think it's easy to say, you're getting in your own way, girl. You're doing the same shit over and over again. And yet, the one thing that you haven't tried is to stop stopping. And I had a quote, I put a quote up every single day on my gram. And typically, it's what inspires me for that day. But I had put a quote up many, many times over in about a couple of years ago. And it was, I know what it feels like to quit. I want to know what it feels like if I don't. And this resonated so much with one of my clients that she printed it out and put it up right by her office so that every single day she reminded herself to keep going. And so often women will say to me, I've tried everything. I've tried everything, Elise. I've eaten clean. I drink my water. I do all the things. Nothing seems to work. And then we talk about it and I'm like, hey, what exactly were you doing? Well, I was doing this and this and this and this until blank, until I got on the scale and the weight went up, or until I, got really busy with work, until I went on vacation, until COVID hit, until I had to go back to work after COVID. It was always something, some catalyst that snapped them back in the other direction, which means they stopped. And so I think this is one of the most important lessons really in life, because we learn this as a kid in school where you get credit for showing up. And I teach my kids this too, is like showing up is the most important part of any step you take. When I used to teach spinning, and this was before COVID, and I taught a lot of fitness classes. Spinning is always one of those classes that I felt like a lot of people didn't want to do until they actually got in the room, turn the lights down, turn the music up. And I would just start, pedaling. And the very first thing I would say to everyone in the class is, congratulations for making the hardest decision that you have to make today, which is that you got here, you showed up, you came in the snow, even though, you had to shovel your car to get out. You showed up even though you were exhausted all night. You probably talked yourself out of it. There's so many other things that you probably want to do right now in this 1 hour of your life. And yet you chose to show up. And what I would say is, the hard part is over. Now let go and now let's get to fucking work, right? And it's the same thing when it comes to reaching your goals and getting out of your own way, is that you just have to keep showing up. Even if the scale goes up, even if you go on vacation, even if you fuck up. And really, the only way you can really fuck up is if you quit. If you don't quit, you can't fail. And so this has been something that I have personally used when I've been working on my physique and even on my business, is that if I don't quit, I can't fail. And even when I was building my business and continue to build my business, there's so many bumps along the way. There's roadblocks, there's high periods, there's low periods. It's so easy to quit. Continuing on is the hardest part. You can hear Rosie drinking her water in the background. But to stopping is going to get you there faster than stopping and starting again. And so when women tell me I've tried everything, I say, the fuck you haven't. You haven't tried to just keep fucking going. KFG. I have that written everywhere. It's likely going to be my next tattoo. You'll probably see it on my body somewhere. My kids know it. It's my screensaver. It is just keep fucking going. In fact, there's an analogy that I love to use with clients, which I say, put on take your baseball hat, pull your visor down, pull your hoodie up, just keep fucking going. Don't ever allow yourself a moment where you're going to stop. Now, you might be saying to me, but how do I do that, Elise? Because when I get on the scale, it is so frustrating. It's not working. Therefore, I must stop. And I would challenge you and say, how do you know that what you're doing isn't actually working? And I say this because the scale can be a bit of a mind fuck, right? You step on it, you see a number, and then that number determines if you pass or fail, if you were successful or not, if you did what you asked or you weren't. And that's it. It's kind of like a immediate report card of how we're doing, except there's probably 10 metrics that we like to use in our company at FFWE when we work with clients, we look at scale weight, we look at measurements, we look at pictures, we look at bowels, we look at cycle if you're cycling, we look at libido, we look at hunger dysregulation, we look at nervous system activation, we look at energy regulation, mood stabilization. These things are going to all tell us if you're going in the right direction. And as you noticed, the scale is only one of them. So, like, many times the scale can be going up or not moving down, and you're still progressing. Progression isn't linear. I think we all know this, like we truly know this, but you've probably said to yourself, no, I need to be losing a pound a week, a half a pound a week. I should be able to lose easily 10 pounds in 3 months. No problem. But we don't just lose a pound a week. We might lose 10 pounds in 3 months, but we don't necessarily lose it at that level. We're not linearly losing weight. We're maybe gaining weight, dropping a pound, staying the same, dropping half a pound, coming up half a pound, staying there for a little bit, going up a pound, dropping 4 pounds. It's very zigzagged. And when you look back at any journey you've done, that's how learning curves are. That's how progress is. Nobody just starts a new skill, a new habit, and is like, I'm going to be fucking amazing at this. You have to fail. You have to start again, in the sense of like not stopping, but starting again, meaning like, oh, I learned that I can't eat like an asshole every single weekend. I've got to try something different. Okay. So progress isn't linear. However, when you step only on the scale and you're like, oh, nothing fucking happened, this isn't working, I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop you right there. No pun intended. Literally, it is what is holding you back. Because if you kept doing that for a year, you cannot fail. That is feedback from you that you will get better over time if you use enough metrics. So the problem might be you need more metrics to fall back on. It's not just as black and white as what is the scale showing, because maybe you had more carbs the night before, and carbs aren't bad, but carbohydrate hydrates the body. When you eat a carbohydrate, water literally follows into the cells. That's what it does. That's a good thing. We need carbohydrates. You're going to have carbohydrates. Your weight is going to go up. That doesn't mean you're gaining fat. Your physique can be lean while you have carbohydrates in them, but you might see that fluctuation on the scale. Maybe you didn't have a solid poop yet. Maybe you're starting medication. Maybe you did a heavy weight training day the day before and your body's inflamed. Maybe you're going to get a period and you just don't know it yet because you're in fucking perimenopause purgatory, like we like to call it, that late luteal phase where you're just like, when the fuck is my period coming? There's so many reasons why that scale could be higher. Just like there's so many times that that scale dropped and you're like, I didn't fucking deserve that. Like, I don't know. Like for me, I ate a ton of chips yesterday. I finally got my period and I was like, balls to the walls. I need salt. I'm going to go for chips. And my weight dropped 2 pounds today. I didn't fucking deserve that. So I know that there's times that you get on the scale and you're like, wow, look at me. I lost weight and I don't know why. Or my pants are looser today. And So I want you to remember that before you throw in the towel, make sure you have the right evidence. Now, if you're doing something extreme, like you're giving up sugar, carbohydrates, you're fasting, like you're doing something that is a little bit more extreme than just modifying your diet, and you're having a negative effect. So maybe you're like fasting and now your hunger is completely dysregulated where you're like, I'm not even hungry till 4 and then I'm starving. That shit ain't working. Stop doing that. Or if you're like, I don't eat carbs because they're the enemy, and that works until Friday night until you see, I don't know, like a donut, and then your balls to the wall in carbohydrates all weekend eating fucking processed shit. Stop doing that. All right. And likewise, if you are just saying, I'm never going to have sugar again, and then you snap one day and eat all the sugar, that shit's not working either. Okay. But at the end of the day, if you can get out of your way and just pull your cap down, throw your hoodie on, stay in your fucking lane and keep fucking going, I promise you're going to see results. Okay. Commit to this for 1 year. Starting today, from listening to this episode, for 1 year from now, just keep fucking going and then come back to me. If it doesn't work, I'll fucking coach you for free. All right. Come to me, find me on the gram, Functionally Fit with Elise or on Facebook, fucking email me. Okay. You can email me Elise at functionallyfitwithelise.com. I'll put all these in the show notes. Come after me. I'll coach you for free. All right. But just give yourself 1 year. Keep going. Don't fucking quit. And I will see you on the next one. Thanks so much for listening today.